Since being selected 3rd overall in 2020 just behind Anthony Edwards and James Wiseman, LaMelo Ball has become something rare for this generation of Charlotte Hornets fans. He's been a genuine reason for hope. From day one, Melo brought excitement back to Charlotte. He became the kind of player that Charlotte Hornets fans hadn't seen in years. Someone worth believing in, someone capable of reviving a struggling franchise. His rookie campaign wasn't just impressive, it was spectacular. LaMelo's ridiculous debut season earned him the Rookie of the Year award, edging out Anthony Edwards in a tight and controversial race. Melo winning Rookie of the Year had some people tight, but LaMelo didn't care and he didn't slow down from there. In his sophomore year, Ball helped to lead the Hornets to a 43-39 record, their first winning season in recent memory. That year, he was the Hornets' best player. The only reason that I feel like I have to say the obvious is because former Hornets GM Mitch Kupchak called Gordon Hayward their best player that season. This is what Mitch actually believed. Mind you that this season LaMelo Ball was already averaging 20.1 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 7.6 assists. Gordon Hayward only averaged 15.9 points. But yeah, Gordon Hayward was their best player. Okay, Mitch. So before that 2021-2022 season, you'd have to rewind all the way back to the 2015-2016 season to find the last Hornets team that finished above 500. Sadly, that 2016 squad was also the last Charlotte team to make an appearance in the NBA playoffs. We're closing in on it nearly being a decade since Charlotte fans have had postseason basketball. Nearly a decade. That's not just disappointing, it's inexcusable. And even in that promising 2021-2022 season when the Charlotte Hornets had a shot at breaking their playoff drought, to nobody's surprise, they collapsed. Charlotte suffered a brutal blowout loss in the play-in tournament, once again failing to clinch a playoff berth when it mattered most. Fast forward to the 2024-2025 season, and the Charlotte Hornets' struggles have continued. Injuries have plagued LaMelo's career, with multiple ankle and wrist issues sidelining him for significant stretches. This season alone, he missed numerous games due to recurring ankle issues. With LaMelo on the court, the Hornets posted a 16-31 record this season. That doesn't sound too great, but wait until you hear their record without him. Without him, they are a dismal 3-32. It might not look like LaMelo Ball has been out there moving the needle in Charlotte, when the sad thing is, despite all of his flaws, he has. You'd figure that the Hornets would have lucked into one season where everything clicked, but instead they've been consistently one of the worst teams in all of sports. And when you look at their process, it seems like this is something that they're committed to. Beyond the numbers, the Hornets' organizational culture raises some serious concerns. To say the least, their leadership appears to be lacking. They've got a revolving door of mainly uninspired veterans who haven't been able to instill a winning mentality. This season, Taj Gibson and Seth Curry were among the few stable seasoned players on the roster. While these are true vets, they're not necessarily the type who can take control of an entire locker room, and their impact is limited without a cohesive structure. It really feels like these players were the screw it, here y'all go, y'all wanted some vets? You got some vets, now you can shut up about LaMelo Ball not having any vets. The absence of a defined team identity and accountability has left their young talents without clear guidance. In contrast, other franchises have recognized similar issues and taken decisive action. Take the Houston Rockets, for example. Not long ago, they faced their own set of challenges. They were young without direction and had a lack of veteran leadership. They needed change in the worst way. So they appointed Ime Udoka as head coach, a no-nonsense coach known for instilling discipline. They also invested in seasoned players like Fred VanVleet and Dillon Brooks, even if it meant overpaying. From there, the message that they had was clear: buy in or move on. This strategic overhaul paid dividends for the Rockets. Young stars like Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun, and Amin Thompson flourished under the new regime, going as far as to propel the Rockets to the second seed in the ultra-competitive Western Conference this season. Now imagine if LaMelo Ball was in such an environment, surrounded by structure, accountability, and a clear vision. Perhaps a lot of these trash narratives about LaMelo Ball not being a good leader or a winning player never exist. The question arises, is Charlotte the right place for him to realize his full potential? Imagine if LaMelo were drafted to a team like, I don't know, the Warriors. How differently does LaMelo's career play out, and how different are things currently for the Golden State Warriors? I couldn't imagine a better mentor for LaMelo Ball than the best point guard of all time, who also seemed to have chronic ankle problems to start his career. If LaMelo Ball was in Golden State, everything changes. This is actually a scenario that I'm going to touch on more in depth in another video, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you guys don't miss that upload or any of our future uploads that we have. And if you are enjoying the content, then do me a favor and be sure to drop a like. It goes a long way. At face value, imagining LaMelo Ball in a different situation seems crazy. But in a somewhat surprising turn of events, recent reports suggest that currently Brandon Miller is the only untouchable player on the Hornets roster. An opposing executive noted that even with this being the case, that Melo and Miles Bridges are unlikely to be moved, due more to a higher asking price than an unwillingness to trade. But still, this report suggests that not only is LaMelo Ball not untouchable, but that the Hornets view Brandon Miller as their most important building block for the future. Lonzo Ball, also known as the brother of LaMelo Ball, says that he has a vision for the Hornets' future, and it might just surprise you.
I got Dylan Harper. I low-key got Dylan Harper going to the Hornets.
Ooh, at 4?
And I got Melo going to the Clips.
That's what
Well, we just skipped over the third pick, huh?
On his own podcast, Zoe willingly said that he envisions the Hornets drafting Dylan Harper and LaMelo Ball getting traded to the Clippers. At 6'6", Harper is somewhat similar to LaMelo, being a big guard who can score in bunches and do a bit of everything. He's viewed by many as the second best prospect in the class after Flag. He's got the fast track to be one of the best players from this class when it's all said and done. But to suggest that the Hornets take him and your brother get sent home, just saying that to say it feels a little bit crazy. Maybe Zoe just wanted a viral clip, or maybe there's more to the matter. LaVar Ball, the father of Zoe, Melo, and Jello, has openly expressed in the past that he would like for all 3 of his sons to return to Los Angeles and play for the Los Angeles Clippers over the Los Angeles Lakers. The reason that LaVar doesn't mess with the Lakers anymore is that he personally feels like the Lakers did his son Zoe super dirty. Remember that Zoe was drafted to play close to home ahead of Jason Tatum. You know what? We have to cover that whole saga in another video too, because what a mess that situation was. But yeah, LaVar doesn't like the Lakers. So the Clippers under Steve Ballmer's ambitious leadership have shown a willingness to make bold moves, even managing to get the most out of veterans like James Harden, despite Harden being in the twilight of his career and clearly running on fumes this season. You guys remember that clip from SpongeBob where Gary is struggling to make it to the finish line? That's what this season from Harden felt like to me. I'm a big Harden fan. The guy was hooping, but you just knew that trouble was never too far away. I genuinely believe that the Clippers were so talented that even with this version of Harden, that they'd be a team that nobody wanted to face in the playoffs, largely because of how perfectly that their roster complemented their stars. The Clippers' stars ended up letting us down, and this team got bounced in the first round against a motivated Nuggets team that had the best player in the league on it. But that doesn't change how well set up that this team was around its stars, and how well that this team has been moving with its backs against the wall, after making one of the biggest mistakes in basketball history. Despite his injury history, acquiring LaMelo Ball would require a decent amount of assets, potentially involving the departure of players like Harden or Kawhi Leonard. However, pairing LaMelo with a solid big man like Zubac and integrating him into a structured system could unlock new dimensions in his game. If nothing else, it's something that would continue to put butts in the seats for Steve Ballmer's new innovative arena, the Intuit Dome. Now, if the Clippers were hesitant on LaMelo due to fears of adding another injury-prone star, Bleacher Report speculates that teams like the Brooklyn Nets, Chicago Bulls, New Orleans Pelicans, and Orlando Magic could all step up as intriguing destinations. They also mentioned the Raptors, but they have a lot of ball handlers already. I don't know about all of those other teams mentioned here, including my New Orleans Pelicans, but the Orlando Magic would make a lot of sense for LaMelo Ball. Just like the Hornets, they're young, but unlike the Hornets, they have structure, and they were the NBA's third best defense this past season. They also made the playoffs, something that the Hornets didn't do. They also have Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. If the Magic somehow added LaMelo Ball and some shooters this offseason, and their offense still ranked towards the bottom of the league, which I would have to think would be impossible to do, you just have to fire the coach at that point, because this team would have one of the most dangerous rosters in the entire Eastern Conference. Melo's length and his ability to be a menace in the passing lanes would fit right into what the Magic want to do on defense. And then on offense, you just can't struggle because LaMelo is turning everybody into a threat. I would imagine that we would see his points per game go down, but his assists, his overall effectiveness, and his efficiency, I think that we would see all of those go up. People have fallen in love with what Tyrese Halliburton has done this season, as they should. He has been spectacular. But if you put LaMelo Ball in the right system, I believe that he can give you similar results. I think that Orlando would be the perfect spot for LaMelo Ball. For some reason, I just kind of feel like Orlando fits LaMelo's vibe. But let me know if I'm the only one that feels that way. Let me know your top LaMelo destinations in the comments below. Are you like the Ball family, and are you trying to get LaMelo to touch back down in Los Angeles? Or do you see another team making a big splash for Melo? Are you a Hornets fan that simply wants to hold on to Melo and see this whole process through? I think that it speaks volumes that asset-wise and talent-wise that the Hornets are in a decent place. They have the 4th pick in this year's draft. And Lonzo Ball is like, I don't know, I see them drafting Melo's replacement and he's getting traded. That lack of structure out there in Charlotte is huge, and their core is just way too injury prone. It's one thing if it's just one of your key pieces that has injury problems, but all of their key pieces have had some sort of issue. LaMelo Ball, out for the season. Brandon Miller, out for the season. Mark Williams started the season injured. Then they tried to trade him, but another team was so scared of his injury issues that they sent him back and willingly took 2 generational talents into the playoffs with no center. The Hornets have been bad, but the hand that they've been dealt with all of these injuries is brutal. If everyone's healthy and everything's all good, this upcoming offseason would have been the perfect year to push some picks in and go get a star or some high impact vets who can change their culture. But they've been so hurt, it's like, yeah, the vets sound good, but let's forget about the star. I'm not even talking about moving that number 4 overall pick this year. Hear me out. A healthy Brandon Miller, a healthy LaMelo Ball, the number 4 overall pick, and a veteran star and another veteran role player. That sounds so much better than anything that they've had in recent years. Go and get some talent would also show a bit of faith in Melo. But again, all of these injuries have made a bad situation so much rougher. Again, let me know what you guys would do down in the comments below. Anyways, there's some more going on in the basketball world that we have to be covering. So clicking one of the videos that's on the screen right now is a great way to support this channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.